Hi everyone, it's time for another episode of Atoms for the Love of Movie Picks. This time around, we're going to be talking about the hit 1989 film Roadhouse, starring the legendary Patrick Swayze. This movie also stars Sam Elliott as Wade Garrett. I haven't don't know if this guy's been in a movie before, but Ben Gazzara plays the villain Brad Wesley. Pretty legendary performance for at least for a guy that's relatively unknown to me. Still a really good performance as the bad guy. You've got probably the only one I recognize in this movie is Kevin Teague plays a guy named Tillman. Oh, and Kathleen Wilhouse plays Carrie. So yeah, there's a few well-known actors in this movie, and even some of the backup actors, the secondary actors, they do a pretty good job in their roles. So the basis of Roadhouse is Patrick Swayze plays a bouncer more or less, but he's also referred to as a cooler. I'm not. I'd have to look up what the term means, but maybe it's just something for like head bouncer or something. But he plays this character, and what he does basically, he's one of the best in the business, if not the best. And he's hired from various places to clean up the bar and make it better. Show how to properly run a place and how to be a proper bouncer, basically. And he gets hired by Kevin Teague's character Tillman to clean up his bar in this town of Jasper. Real dive, real rough place. Most people wouldn't give a second thought to, but he wants to clean it up, make it a nice place, and make a nice living for himself. So he hires Dalton. That's Patrick Swayze's character's name is Dalton to clean up the place. The only difference with this place compared to some of the other ones that he's done is the town is run by the villain Brad Wesley. Basically, he's got his hand in everybody's pocket legitly. They got to pay him royalties if they want to do business in the town. And he doesn't approve of Dalton cleaning up the place and doing things his way. So, it results in a whole big clash between the two of them throughout the movie. It's just, best word I could use to describe this movie is just cool. Everything about, Dalton's character is just smooth and cool and, real, smooth operator, basically. So, yeah, it's definitely a great movie, classic 80s movie, one of the quintessential 80s movies. If you haven't seen it before, definitely recommend looking at it. But yeah, so throughout the movie, so he basically, the other difference in this one is that he falls in love with a local doctor in this movie, finds a reason to stay, and also his best friend and one of the other best coolers in the business, Wade Garrett, played by Sam Elliott, comes into town to help him out. And so as the movie transpires, there's more and more clashes between Dalton's character and all the guys that work for Wade Garrett. The various times they'll come in, try and bust up the bar and cause chaos, and they'll do things to various people in the town, trying to irk Dalton and get him going and kind of thing, or trying to get him in line. And it just progressively gets worse and worse. Until at one point there's a real clash. Dalton is basically staying in a room for rent above a barn owned by a local named Emmett. And Emmett's house one night gets blown up. And it's basically by the head bad guy of Brad Wesley's. His name is Jimmy. I don't really recognize the guy that plays Jimmy, but still does the role pretty well. And he's pretty much as good a fighter as Dalton. I wouldn't say better. And ultimately, Dalton kills him in single handed combat. Jimmy pulls a gun on him, rips his throat out, kills him. Again, might be movie magic. I don't know if a guy could really do that, but it makes for an interesting, scene for sure. So basically, this sets off Brad Wesley, and he ends up killing Wade Garrett. Just as Dalton was basically, say, screw this, it's not worth it, I'm getting out of town. And he pushed Dalton over the edge in doing that, and he ends up killing pretty much all his guys and Brad Wesley in the final showdown. Um, so yeah, it's just it's got good music, 80s music. The plot is really well done. It's even though it was a major motion picture, I would consider it low budget just because of there's not a ton of special effects and big grand scenes. It's pretty tamed down. So, for what I would say low budget in terms of, compared to something like Avatar, or Titanic, something that took millions of dollars to make. I don't think this one cost that much to make. I just know it was a box office hit. So yeah, Roadhouse, if you haven't seen it before, definitely check it out. If you've seen it already, check it out anyways. It's a great movie. You can't go wrong. The legendary Patrick Swayze, gone far too soon in our time. Gives a great performance as Dalton. In terms of age rating, it's definitely an R movie. There's a lot of blood and violence and fight scenes and nudity and drug use. So yeah, I definitely wouldn't recommend it for anybody under the age of 18. Hard R rating. Still a great adult action flick. So yeah, Roadhouse, check it out. You pretty much find it anywhere movies are sold. Not sure if it's available on any streaming platforms, but I'm sure you could find it. And yeah, we'll catch you in the next one, folks. Take care.